go into your Powerlink integration or your Powerlink business and store settings, there's an Elite Extra tab. It's a little bit hidden here, and then you literally choose the ship views that you want to come over to be delivered. And once we have the integration set up, we'll build you a site. It looks exactly like this. It will be tailored to your business. It's a cloud-based software run on a high-performance browser like Chrome or Firefox. It's very robust. We have 3,000 locations currently with 50,000 daily users. That's drivers, dispatchers, and counter folks. We have, this is really how we communicate with our users. We put out the latest version of the driver application, some tips and tricks over here. We also have some user manuals, driver training, as well as some quick guides. We also offer unlimited webinar training. We usually start with an hour training session with one of our expert trainers and then follow it up with as many question and answer sessions as you may need. We also have some video tutorials here. 1 to 2 minute videos of the most frequently asked questions. The most important probably buttons on the landing page here are email support. Pop in your name, email address, and your phone number and your issue. And we have about 8 to 10 folks here that will respond to you within minutes, and even quicker than that is our phone support. Either hit 3 for support, or if it's after hours, hit 9. Somebody's going to live answer that phone and come out to your site and help you with any questions that you have. I can't overstate that enough. Our support is top-notch and a large differentiator for our solution. We have the greatest support folks ever. Some admin tabs across the top. I'll get into those in a little bit. Over here, we have your dispatch locations, whether that's just 1 or 3 or 10. We load those on your site. As you can see, we have an eyeball and a rocket ship. We can customize your users to be able to view or manipulate your Elite Extra site however you'd like to set up their login credentials. So if you have counter folks that you just want to be able to answer questions on ETAs or certain invoices or delivery tickets, you can give those folks limited access. But if you want full dispatch capabilities for somebody who's going to be routing drivers, then you can give them full access. And you are not limited to the number of users that can come out here on your Elite Extra site, as many as you'd like. So I'm going to jump into the magic of Elite Extra here. We're going to hit the rocket ship for full access. Elite Extra is very map-centric, map-focused. We are a GIS company. We've been doing this for 20 years, geographical information systems. We're very proud of that. And so what you're seeing here is very easy to manipulate. You can toggle on different map layers, whether that's grayscale, or if you wanted to get to the aerial view. You also have the ability to just check out traffic flow and traffic incidents as you're building routes and going through dispatching drivers. So what you're seeing here on the map, these blue dots are representing those delivery tickets that are coming through your Powerlink integration and need to be delivered. They're represented both up here on the map, but they're also represented down below here in the invoice detail. These columns are very customizable. Whatever's coming through from the Powerlink integration, we can put up here in a column, or we can hide certain columns. It's very customizable. Whatever you need or your dispatchers might need to see while they're building routes is what we can toggle on over here. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Up on the right-hand side, you're seeing your drivers and as well as their status. Your drivers are going to be logging in on a smartphone or a tablet, mid-size tablet or a full-size iPad. All they really need is something that's a smartphone with some data that's built in the last 5 years, and they're going to be able to use that to dispatch, track your drivers. It becomes their mobile clipboard, if you will, where they can get their route, get turn-by-turn instructions, collect cash, collect signatures, collect photos along the way. I'm going to be showing you that in a little bit here. But you can see the status of your drivers. The return time will be up to date. So this driver here, Carl Thompson, is returning at 2:03 p.m. That's going to update every few seconds as GPS pings that driver's device. It'll become, as they become later or earlier, That return time will be updated accordingly. The awaiting departure status becomes all important when you have that last minute part that comes through the delivery ticket on your Powerlink integration. You want to get it on a driver's route. You can see that that driver is either in the break room or out loading their truck. You can get that last minute part on because you know that that driver's on site somewhere. So that becomes all important. So Elite Extra has the ability to either build hotshot routes, which is very easy. I'm going to show you in just a second, but we also have the ability to build scheduled runs. What that entails is we have a special scheduled run tool. And what we're able to do is either through customer lists or building zones with customers in them in your particular delivery area, we can have your routes, have your customer delivery tickets flow right into manifests to be dispatched as you choose. I'll go back to the dispatch screen here. So as those customer orders come in for your scheduled runs, they'll just keep adding to these manifests, and they'll keep building the most optimized route until you choose a cutoff time or until you choose to just dispatch it off to a driver. I'm going to show you very quickly how to dispatch a hotshot run. So again, all these orders are needed to be delivered. It's very easy to add them to a route. You can either click on your particular order, look at the invoice detail, and click the plus sign to add it to the manifest. And as you're seeing, Elite Extra is building that route in the most optimized fashion. Another way of building routes is looking down below here in the detail, invoice details, highlighting a particular invoice that you want, either heading add A for add to the manifest or just add to manifest. And again, you're seeing that route being built in the most optimized fashion. And I think to demonstrate the power of Elite Extra here, I'll show you the last way that you can hotshot a run is with something we have. It's called a poly selection tool. All you need to do is select the tool and build yourself a polygon around a group of orders that you would like to have dispatched. Put on a manifest, click on that first point, and Elite Extra again is building that route in the most optimized fashion. I'll add another one on here. So you can see that there's a runtime up here of 2 hours and 12 minutes. You don't have to leave the route as it is. This is the optimized version, but we recognize that there are customers that may have priorities and may need to be delivered to first. You can drag and drop these stops any way you like. But as you can see, dragging and dropping is adding some time on to that 2 hour runtime has now become 3 hours and 23 minutes. If you start messing around with the route and you want to go back to the optimized version, you just need to click the little magic wand button here. We also have, again, recognizing that there are routes that need to be served first with customers that may be bigger or new. We have this little lock icon right here. If we hit the lock icon, that's going to move that stop to number 1, but it's going to re-optimize all the stops afterwards. So that's how we recognize and we recommend to our customer or to our users to use a little lock icon. The runtime is now 2 hours and 13 minutes. We have a lot of, if this is going to be too long for you, you can click the little garbage can icon, and it'll dump that stop down into the unassigned list down here to be put on a manifest at a later date. I'd like to show you how the driver application works. I'm going to build a route. So let's take this route and we're going to dispatch it to our driver. Very easy to do. You can either hit D for dispatch. There's a whole myriad of hotkeys here. As you become an experienced user, you can use the hotkeys, but otherwise, we use a little paper airplane icon here. And we pick our driver, and we just merely hit dispatch. As I mentioned, smartphone, 7-inch tablet, or a large tablet, it's really your choice. What you're seeing here is my personal cell phone. It's a Moto Play. You have two different views on the dispatch screen. We're currently in the build preset. I'm going to go to the monitor preset here, and we'll pick that route we just dispatched to Luke Peterson. You can see the stops, but you can also see them on the device as it just came through onto the phone. And so what we can do is we'll work through this route. The driver has the ability to look at the details. So going to see the invoices, any pickup notes that might be out there, as well as individual parts that are to be loaded on his truck. The driver, to begin the route, all they need to do is do a long press on the depart. Everything's built on long presses so that you can't accidentally hit a depart or arrival. And you want to do it right when your driver is ready to go. So the driver hits depart, they're ready to go on their way to their first stop. They can get turn-by-turn driving directions. All they need to do is hit that button, and they also have the ability to customize them. Whether they like Google Maps, Apple Maps, or MapQuest, they can choose their turn-by-turn instructions. Again, when the driver arrives at that first stop, which is stop number 2, the first and last stops are always going to be your warehouse. Report arrival. When the driver goes through, he has the ability to take photos for stops. When our first few users in the salvage industry and the recycling industry found that this was a very useful tool, whether leaving a F-150 bumper at a customer and 3 days later, the customer saying, hey, this is scratched, we want to take it back. Having a time-stamped photo of that from maybe 4 different angles, be able to show the customer that, no, that wasn't scratched when we delivered it. It's been very useful for your industry. So they have the ability to take as many pictures as they like. And they can take notes. They're going to report that delivery. Again, long press. Collect cash if they need to. Also get a signature. And the signature can either be done with the customer's finger or a stylus. And Elite Extra is going to learn the names of your customers at these stops and store them to bring up as these drivers go out more and more. But they also have the ability to pop in a new name. And so the driver is ready to take off for their next stop. Very repetitive. What the drivers do for one stop, they do for all of their stops. We make it even easier about a month and a half into your using a Powerlink Elite Connect, Elite Extra, powered by Elite Extra. We build a geofence around your customers as well as your warehouse. And once your drivers hit a 60 to 70 meter perimeter around your customers and warehouse and going 2.5 miles an hour, it will automatically depart and arrive them through the driver app as they move along. So we take the Easy Driver app and make it even easier after dialing in those GPS points. There's also an in-app chat feature. I'm going to show that super quickly. The driver has the ability to report a delay. We have a bunch of canned reasons in here for reporting delays. Checking in parts seems to be the most popular. They can choose 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or customize a time, whether maybe it's going to be 5 or 10. A couple of things happen after they report that delay. The first thing that happens is there's going to be a little message, green message globe over here. And we see delay, Luke Peterson checking in parts. The next thing that happens is that all these ETAs over here are going to be pushed out 15 minutes. So you have the ability to message your driver back. Go to the build preset and we will send a message to the driver. Go choose the driver here. Maybe you want to tell them that there's a pickup. You just pop in your message and you hit send. And in addition to all of those messages being displayed here, alerts and messages are displayed. And I don't know if you heard that come through my mouthpiece. I hope you did. but then that message is read aloud to that driver. Obviously, your drivers will be possibly doing turn-by-turn driving directions while you're messaging them. You don't want your drivers to be looking down at their phones or texting while they're driving. So this will just be read aloud to them, and they have the ability to pop a note back, but they won't be able to do any delivery functions. It will be just, this message is going to persist until they acknowledge it with either a yes, no, or an okay. They're going to pop okay, and they can send a note back saying, thanks, got it. And they can send that back. And all of those messages are being brought up over here as we go through the day. So it's just another way to communicate with your drivers and making sure that they are aware of things that are happening around them. Speaking of that, you have the ability, close that, you have the ability to add stops to routes. Go back to the build preset here. Let's say your driver is out and about and you want to give them a pickup. Somebody needs something picked up, a core return or a return of some sort. You merely have to add that to the driver's manifest. It's going to add that pickup to the last stop because you may have already bumped these ETAs or told your customers these ETAs. Lead Extra is going to put it down to the last stop, but you don't have to leave it there. You can put it wherever it makes sense, dragging and dropping. All you need to do to send it to the driver's device is to make sure that you hit the save button here. And again, a couple things are going to happen as you do that. The driver's route is going to be reflected with that additional stop. And they're also going to get a notification on their device that their route has changed here. It should be popping up here any second as we wait for the GPS to come through here. Oh, and it toggled right through it. So you do have that ability. Now the driver is going to be taking off for their next stop, and it will have them go to, we'll work through that stop quick. Get signatures. Again, very repetitive. You can see the last signer was probably Pete. You just pop that name in, hit OK, and away they go. And we see that ready for the next stop. And there's Bubba's that was added onto their route just a couple of seconds ago. So that's what I wanted to show you as far as the dispatch area goes and the driver application. There's a couple other things that I'd like to show you quickly. The first and foremost is the orders grid. The orders grid is going to represent all those delivery tickets and invoices that are coming in from that Powerlink integration, and they're going to be kept here forever. So this is a valuable reference tool for your counter folks or anybody that's manning the phones with customers that say, where's my invoice? Or what about that invoice that came in or that was supposedly delivered 2 weeks ago? Did it get delivered? Where is it? Very easy to search this. You can hit the little search icon here and you can search a PO, manifest, invoice, your customer, as well as order by, driver's names, myriad of ways to look through this. Go look through for delivered here. All right, so here everything is color coded according to their status. Delivered is green, obviously. There's a lot of information that can be found out here. There is a history. So not only is it time stamped, but it's also there's an audit trail of who did what. There's parts detail as well, located in the orders grid here. We also have a proof of delivery. What we do is we take your logo, put in those invoice details, pop on, there's a timestamp as well as the signature name and that signature. We put this all together and you can have these emailed to your customers upon request or automatically. And again, that photo that we took when we were out on the route, as soon as the driver reports that delivery, that photo comes back here and is available for viewing, or again, emailing to the customer if you need to. So the orders grid is a very powerful tool for all of those Powerlink delivery tickets and invoices that you might need to invoice, or excuse me, that you might need to reference or search for at any given time. All right. So a couple other things that I'd like to show you quick. Reporting. We have a myriad of reports out here for you, for whether business intelligence or driver performance, COD invoices, delivery route details by driver, a ton of reporting here that you are able to reference after you've been up and running to help you with your business intelligence. I am going to try to go out to a live site here quick and show you something, unless it came down. Must have. All right, quickly here. Well, we have one of our customers that allows us to come in and take a look. Demo data, obviously, it doesn't have very good representation of what's going on as drivers are out and about on their routes. So we're going to peep in on Lakeland Ford here. You can see this is the monitor preset of Lakeland Ford. You can see all these bullets here are drivers that are out on their routes. You have the ability to highlight a driver, find out what route he was assigned. You can see the green is his route that he was assigned. But you can also go in and see if he's adhering to that route. And what we're doing is we're toggling on tracks, which just puts a little breadcrumb trail of his GPS points every 30 seconds that are coming through. It tells you when he came through that certain area as well as the miles per hour. It's a good tool to give you that 30,000-foot view of what's going on with your drivers as they're out and about on their routes. And this is also kept forever in the reporting area that you can reference at a later date to see if where your drivers have been compared to where they should have been. The last thing I'd like to show you, demonstrating that absolute power of Elite Extra, is something that we call our route whiteboard. The route whiteboard is just a one-stop shop of all your drivers as they're out, as well as all the stops on their route. And anything that is dark has been delivered, and it shows that delivery time, as well as you can get the detail of what was delivered. And anything that's lighter colored has that up to the minute ETA. If you have more than 6 drivers, it's going to scroll through them as you go along. And again, another one-stop place to see what's going on with your drivers as they're out and about, showing that absolute power of Elite Extra. So that was really what I wanted to show you all